I'm currently recording this on Wednesday the 27th. I've for some reason decided to wear a jumper. It's currently 23 degrees. I'm dying. Hello and welcome to Talking Kit, a new series of a straight white male telling you his opinion, because there's not many of them about at all. It's just an opportunity for me to talk about kits in a different sense of kitted out, because that's a bit more formal. Not that me standing in the kitchen with a microphone is not formal, but why not? I've showered for this, so we'll give it a go. Yeah, cue the intro music. I love that tune, it's great. So this is pretty much just a chance for me to talk about kits. I'm sure I've already said that, but yeah, I'm going to have 3 guests on today, all based in the States, as there's we're at that time of year where it's Christmas, summer Christmas, so kit releases ahead of the new season, whenever that will be. But yeah, there's a lot of kit releases and kit leaks, which I'll briefly discuss too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a very optimistic pilot. Yeah. I mean, firstly, we'll talk about kit leaks. City's kits for next season, all 3 of them. They make me want to swallow a pack of paracetamol, to be honest. Not a massive fan. I do normally like Puma. The kits this season have been alright. The third kit we won't talk about. The away kit was probably my favourite. I'm not a massive fan of the home shirt though. The purple accents on it, not a fan. If they were maroon or like a darker shade of purple that they seem to be on the promotional pictures, then I would have been happy. But seeing it in person, it was too purpley. So the away kit, don't want to talk about the third kit. And then the centenary kit, the 125 year shirt that they did for us was pretty bang on. Just more of that. However, the home shirt for next season's got this blue cracked design to it. Apparently it is the actual kit rather than just a leak, because Puma US accidentally posted it in the junior section a couple of weeks ago. So we've got confirmation of that. I know it's to pay homage to a mural at Main Road, I believe, but it doesn't tickle my fancy. The third shirt looks like an IKEA curtain. Yeah, I might love it when I see it. I might love all these 3 kits when I see them. My opinion of them drastically changes when I actually have them in my hand. First home game of the season, I'll go and I'll pick mine, and who to get on the back as well. And then the away one, at first I didn't really like it. I saw the colour schemes were going to be a bit dark, like a darker blue, darker black, and we've had some darker kits as of late, so I'm interested. I think the design kind of lends to more Manchester architecture, so it looks quite snazzy. I'm sure it'll grow on us as it does. But while we're talking about kit leaks and Puma, I think it was Borussia Dortmund's third kit has been leaked with some BVB graffiti up the side here, and it looks fucking rancid. Okay, that's enough of me wittering. It's only been about 4 minutes, I think, but that'll do me. Let's hop on a flight. Let's go test our eyesight in Madison, Wisconsin, to a team that I'm sure you've already seen the kit many a time. However, Forward Madison have just released their brand new alternative kit. It's a very jazzy pattern. I had a look at all their kits on their website, and they're all amazing. So the home shirt's a blue shirt with a white sash going across it, and there's a giant, if you see their badge, it's a flamingo. So it's got a giant flamingo just coming up here. It looks pretty great, actually. Their away shirt is a white with pink diagonal stripes going across the shirt as well. I believe in the sashes as well, they've got the names of 900 different season ticket holders. So I think this is their second ever kit. Maybe it's their second sets of kits. I can't remember. I'll find that out hopefully. But yeah, I like the design. And then the 2 goalkeeper kits are pretty great. So I believe the away one is pink with little black flamingos. If you remember the France away shirt from the 2019 Women's World Cup. I think that design in terms of the polka dots, but they're little black flamingos. And then the home goalkeeper top is black with palm leaves, and it's got some gold accents. So the manufacturer logo, which is Hummel, is in gold. The badge, the club badge, is in gold, and the classic Hummel, they've got the chevrons, so the chevrons going up the sleeves. They're in gold as well. It just looks snazzy. Anyway, we'll go to my reporter, my extremely handsome reporter, Ollie, to find out about this kit.
So I'm new to Zoom and didn't realise my camera wasn't recording. So I've made a suitable substitution, hopefully. But I'll be in halfway through the chat.
Yes. So my name is Cassidy Sepnieski. I'm the graphic designer for Madison FC here in Madison, Wisconsin, and I design kits sometimes.
So you've just released quite a striking kit. It was the alternative kit for this season, is it?
Yes. So it'll be our third kit for the 2020 season.
And you've kind of blended the two, the home and the away kits together in terms of colour. Where did the design of that shirt come from?
Yes, so there's a team of us. I call us the kit crew. It hasn't quite caught on in the office yet, but I'm going to keep pushing it. So Chase, Kuba, and I, we work really closely on getting these kits kind of from conception to execution every year. And they always have a very strong vision about how they want their lineup to go, and then I kind of execute. And so they came to me with a very street style vibe. They wanted, a direction that was going to be a lot different from anything we've ever done before. They pulled up an old Brazil kit. I can't even find it when I Google it. I have no idea where it came from. Of just this beautiful swirling pattern of all the Brazil colors. And they were like, color mesh. Color mesh was the the words we kept throwing around. Color mesh, color mesh, color mesh. I think I heard that probably 100 times. And so then they kind of left it in my hands to figure out how to get it onto a shirt, which I turned to the internet. As I normally do.
Yeah, I was going to say, did the club go to you with a brief, because it's such a striking, bold design that surely the club must have had some hand in it, because I can't imagine many clubs receiving that and being like, oh yeah, that's great.
So I think every year we kind of know that the third kit is going to be a little bit off the wall. This is only our second year as a club in Madison, and our first year we had kind of a similar style in the sense that it was, when you looked at it, you're like, what is going on? This is very in your face. And so we knew we wanted to do something similar this year, and they do approve everything we kind of do in that sense.
Because the rest of the kits, even the keeper kits this year, they're pretty great. I had a look at them all on the website. So can you talk us a little bit through the design process from getting the brief to it finally becoming a shirt?
Yeah, so it was a whirlwind, honestly. We pretty much pulled this kit together in less than 2 weeks from the day we decided we needed to go in a different direction to actually getting it to the production level for sampling. And so, yeah, it was definitely I walked into the office, they were like, we need a new kit. The ideas we'd been throwing around before just weren't translating well onto fabric. And so we were crunch time. I walked in, they briefed me. I actually went home and definitely shed a couple tears a little bit, overwhelmed. I'm like, we are not going to pull this off. I went straight to the craft store and bought a bunch of paint. And I follow a lot of artists on Twitter. I think Facebook has gotten my video algorithm down to being street art and kind of those, people painting on the street, street art and stuff. I see a lot of it. And so I had seen hydro dipping online quite a few times, and I was like, I think this could be a great way to execute what we want here. And so I grabbed a bunch of spray paints. I came home and I actually that night just started hydro dipping in my kitchen. And the process is I had a little tub of water. You start spray painting the colors you want into the water. You swirl them around, and then you dip a canvas in it, and it creates this beautiful movement. I brought an example. So this is one of the canvases from that first night that was kind of the day we decided to go in this direction. And so I knew right when I saw them come out of the water that this was going to kind of be the way to go.
Wow. All right. Okay. And so that makes a bit more sense now. In the 2-week deadline, I mentioned you via email. I saw on Twitter that people were mentioning the struggle that the design team went through. So that makes a bit more sense now.
Yeah. We knew we wanted to wear these in our Open Cup game, which actually got scheduled before our home opener at home. And so we had like a 6 to 8 week turn time usually on kits to go from like production to getting them in hand for enough for the team. And we were at that 6 to 8 week like mark in January. Like, we gotta go.
So I was going to ask where the influence come from. However, obviously you kind of touched on that already. So it was pretty quick then from getting the design to the finished article then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the fastest part about it was actually getting home and doing the canvases. From there, it took about 2 to 3 days of translating it onto the computer, cleaning up those lines, and just going through and detailing every single line, and really making sure the colors were how I wanted them to, and then sticking true to the original movement of the piece that we chose. And so the cleaning up part was probably the longest part of that whole process, just like me meticulously staring at a computer screen like, okay, this line curves this way, like clean it up as we go. But we got there.
Yeah. So, and then this kit is being made by Hummel as well. Can you touch a little bit on your working relationship with Hummel? What's that like?
Yeah, I know Chase and Kubo and Peter Wilt, kind of our genius club starter from last year. When they were picking out club or kit producers, Hummel was big in the conversation due to their sublimation abilities. I think that has played a key role in our relationship with them. Immediately when they realized we had an in-house designer, they gave us templates. They were like, go for it. We got a lot of freedom from them. Obviously within their brand standards, the chevrons stay on. This year we got to add the mark with the B, which I love. I think it's a classic logo. And then, but overall, they've just been honestly very supportive of our design process. And then actually this year they allowed us to switch manufacturing to be out of the United States. So we pivoted to a manufacturer out in California when the whole COVID-19 shook the world, and but they've been extremely supportive of that. And so I think Hummel, the whole step of the way, has kind of given us the freedom to breathe here and just produce things that work for our team rather than kind of handing us down a template that might not be for us.
What have they thought of the design, or do you know that?
What was that?
What have they thought about the design, or do you know what they think?
We reached out to them right when we got it and immediately got great feedback. Usually Hummel US, there's like the two divisions. Hummel US has like pretty much always been supportive of our stuff. But this year, Hummel, the international kind of European side of things, was like, yeah, we're going to promote this. Like, this is good. So they backed this kit right away when they saw it. So that was good to hear.
And I don't suppose you know how, like, any global orders yet? I mean, I'll definitely be getting one eventually.
I was talking to Chase yesterday, and he said all international orders have to be like emailed in because we don't have international shipping listed on the website yet. He said his inbox was full. He could not keep up with his inbox. And so I know the international response has just been incredible. I feel absolutely floored by the response overall. I did not anticipate this kit kind of going global, which is wild.
Speaking of Hummel, Everton have just signed a 3-year deal with them. So we'll finally see Hummel again in the Premier League. I like him. I like Hummel a lot. We're still not sure on who the shirt sponsor will be for Everton. They ended their deal with Sports Pacer 2 years early. I think it was in the contract. lots of speculation around why this is. I believe they also had a partnership with, I think it was the Irish FA, or they've had links with other teams anyway, and they've all been dropped. So whether it's something to do with Sports Pay, so I believe they were in some form of financial issues, which is funny for a betting company. But yeah, one of the reasons Everton dropped them is they've got a strong mental health initiative over at Everton, and apparently not apparently, but betting kind of clashes with that mindset, and I just don't think they wanted a betting sponsor on their shirt, to be honest, and I welcome that opinion. I believe Sevilla have just released their new shirt sponsor of Betway, and City's training gear is sponsored by Marathon Bet, which I hate. That logo is just so obnoxious. I hate it. It is a shame we will no longer be seeing another Umbro kit, but we've still got Bournemouth, maybe, if they're not relegated. Who knows what's happening to the league? And then, Hummel. Let's go back to them. If you want to look at 3 shirts that they've done as of recent within the UK scene, so you've got Middlesbrough. They're currently making kits for Middlesbrough. Rangers. I believe the Rangers are going elsewhere. Oh, yeah, of course they are. Rangers are changing their supplier, so not next season. And Cambridge United. Look at their shirt. Oh, Coventry. But yeah, look at Cambridge United shirt for this season. Actually, I'll throw it over my face here. It's proper snazzy though. So any Everton fans out there who aren't familiar with Hummel, I'll quickly do a quick slideshow of me in the 4 Hummel kits I own. But you're in for a treat, and that's an Ollie guarantee. Shall we take another journey? I was going to make a joke that the Borussia Dortmund leak kit was going to be making me want to wrap a steel pipe around my head and be like, why did I choose steel? Because it's an amazing segue to Steel FC. I had a Google of them. They also have a kit release. I had a quick Google of the team just to find out a little bit of information from them. I can't find any. I went on their website, and other than that, it just kept throwing me the Philadelphia Union second team. I like Philadelphia Union. They're sponsored by Bimbo. However, what I could find on the club's website is that they are a soccer team from Pittsburg, competing in the Greater Pittsburgh Soccer League. They were formed in 2015. They were originally a league in the Miners League. I'm just reading straight off my Google Drive document here. They made quick advancements to the Championship division, and they won it in 2017. But they've just released a new kit, as I said. It's also very snazzy. So take it away, handsome reporter Ollie.
So my name is Brian Lucchini. Basically for Steel FC, I do everything. I do the scheduling, the manager, the president, if you want to call it that, the treasurer, social media. I'm also the coach. I tell when players to go in, what formations to play, all that kind of stuff. So it's a one-man team. I mean, I have a co-manager when he's available, but everyone's got a busy schedule and we're all adults. So I put in most of the work. So that's what we do.
So you are Steel FC.
I would say I'd be the face of it. I mean, we got 25 very talented players behind me that help make the team and organization run well. But yeah, I'm what you see on Twitter and what you see on Facebook, Instagram. So
okay, because I was going to say I did try and Google the club just to find out a bit more about them, and it just kept throwing up the Philadelphia Union second team.
Yeah, that's been a common, I guess you could say, a hurdle. I mean, we do have our own website. It's steelfcsoccer.com. If you ever want to check that out, it has past games, what we're about, pictures of players, stuff like that, a roster. But yeah, if you just Google Steel FC without anything else, it's very hard to find us.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit more about the club? Obviously, you juggle a lot, so I'm guessing it's somewhat still in its infancy.
Yeah, so I started the club back in 2015. It was just a small team. We were just looking to play a little more competitively in a better league than what we were in. We joined the GPSL, which is the Greater Pittsburgh Soccer League. And then that's kind of around here. That's like the biggest league with the best competition. It's pro rel, so it's something to look forward to if you do well. We started in the bottom division in 2015. We won that, moved up to the next division, won that one, moved up again, took second place, and then the next year we won that. So we moved up to the Premier Division, and that's where we are today. The league consists of players that have played high school or, intramurals, clubs like that, and then all the way up to we've had an ex-professional come back and play in the Premier League of the GPSL. We have some semi-pros and some people from overseas come play as well. So it's kind of a big deal in Pittsburgh if you're looking for strictly amateur adult soccer. The closest thing would be our NPSL team, be the Pittsburgh Hotspurs. That's a step up from us. And then, of course, our USL team, the Riverhounds. But as far as just strictly amateur adult soccer, it's mainly GPSL.
Right. And then so you've got a new kit out, which you tweeted me when I asked about, because I've missed a load. There's been so many. I don't know what's real and what's fake at the moment. But you sent me a picture of your new kit, and it's amazing. Can you just walk us through the design?
Yeah, so actually I reached out to Rob from Icarus, and I just wanted his guidance on if he thought he could work with us, because like I said, we're just 25 players. We don't have coaching, we don't have funding, we're not sponsored or anything. So I was just checking on prices and quality, and I got good references from others about his company. So I reached out to him, and he actually redesigned our whole logo. I mean, you can see on my shirt right here, it used to be a whole crest with like a badge and it has soccer ball in it and stuff like that. And he said, he felt like that might have been a little childish, which I agreed. So he rebranded it and came up with the triangle. And I mean, the triangle, there's 3 main rivers in Pittsburgh, so that's where the triangle comes from. Black and gold, it's both in the jersey and on the crest, is basically Pittsburgh colors. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the Pirates, the Penguins, they're all black and gold pretty much. That's the main jig of it. And then the blue and white that you see here, and then alongside our jersey on the sides. That's my dog. That comes from the city of Pittsburgh's flag. It has the blue and white checkered in it. So he took that from the flag and put it in the crest and our jersey. And then the star, which you can see right there, and then also just all over our jersey. That's kind of like a nod from our old crest. I had a star in the old crest, and he kind of kept that. There's a little bit of consistency. But overall, I think he did an absolutely amazing job. I mean, I put it out on Twitter. We had over 150 pre-orders for it. So it obviously worked. It, couldn't be happier, just waiting for it to get into my hand, hopefully in June sometime. So that's pretty much where it came from. So.
And then out of them 150 pre-orders, any international ones?
Yeah, actually, most of them were international. I had, out of the 150 plus, I think about half, about 75 were international orders, and then just around, there's a couple. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's guys from Texas that ordered some, Maine, Connecticut, Las Vegas. They got a guy in Las Vegas who liked it, so they just, whoever liked it hopped on, and of course a couple Pittsburghers as well. So that always helps. But yeah, there was about half of it was over to the UK. So
yeah, I will be in that list. Sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, you can get them on our website. So.
Well, yeah, that was, I was going to ask that as well. I was like, they are available and on your website, right?
Yeah, you just go to steelfcsoccer.com, and then there's a tab that says shop. You just click that. There's a couple other things up there, but the jersey is definitely by far the best thing, in our opinion.
And finally, what are the aims for what your aims for this season? And may as well make it relevant. How has the whole coronavirus situation affected the team, the club?
So our aim for the season, we are looking to start in August. Usually we start the GPSL season April, and then we play through June. Then we take like June through July off, so players have time to just take a break, go on vacation with their families, get away from the game for a little bit, rehab injuries and whatnot. And then we start back up late August and play into October. So it's kind of a split season, even though it's one long season. But because of COVID, now we're only starting in August. So instead of having 2 weeks on and a bye, 2 weeks on and a bye, and not playing on holidays and whatnot. We're just going to play straight through and end in – the goal is to end in mid-November before Thanksgiving. So that's what we're trying to do. As far as it affecting us, I mean, besides the scheduling, our team was in an indoor league that shut down mid-season. Kind of just a warm-up for the GPSL, not extremely competitive, but just to get some touches on the ball. We had a couple guys go through some surgeries in the offseason from last year who weren't going to be able to start in April or in May or in June. So if we start in August, they should actually be pretty well back. I mean, maybe not the fittest, of course, but pretty well on their way. Besides that, though, because we're not really in a NPSL league or a USL 2 or something like that, our league kind of can dictate and can shift around when we want to play just so we get on the field during the season. So it hasn't been as crazy as all these other leagues getting completely canceled in 2020. But it's still, obviously we want to be out there on the field and we can't right now. So we're playing a lot of FIFA, let's put it that way.
We have one more kit to talk about. This one, again, I said at the start, we are going stateside. Glamorous indie rock and roll. We're talking about Indie 11. They're based in Indianapolis. I have finally said that right. I tried for many hours, kept getting it wrong. I think I've got some form of speech impediment. Yes, so we are off to Indiana. They are Indie 11, team formed in 2014, and they share their stadium with the local NFL team. So like Atlanta United, their stadium is massive. However, not like in Atlanta United, they're not in MLS. So curious to know what the turnout is, but the stadium looks stunning. So Indy 11, there's a lot of references towards 11 within the team and just Indianapolis in general. So if you know anything about football or soccer, obviously 11 men on the pitch at the time per team. However, they have a racing kit, and they have them for the last 2 years. They're sponsored by Honda, so it kind of works out. So the racing kit is to pay homage to the Indianapolis 500, which is a big race. It's got 11 sets of 11 rows of drivers, so we've got 11 again. And the first year it started was 1911, so we're just throwing 11s at you. Here, I can't edit. If I could, I'd be throwing 11s at you, but I can't. They've made a bid for MLS expansion, so hopefully we will see them up in MLS in a few years' time. I know that league is continuously growing with the introduction of Inter Miami. Could be changing the name or the badge. We will soon see. But yes, I will throw the kit up on screen here. It's very, very snazzy. I like the white sleeves and shoulders. The checkered body is pretty great, and if you've seen anything about my kit collection, I released a video of it. You know I love stripes. The central stripe of the blue, white and red is amazing. I love it. Really complements the whole shirt, just brings it all together. It's pretty amazing. That's it from me before handing you over to extremely handsome reporter Ollie once again. Take it away.
My name is Joshua Mason. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Strategy for Indy 11 Professional Soccer in Indianapolis, Indiana. Obviously, a city with rich in racing history, which is a lot of what we'll cover today.
Can you tell us a little bit about Indy 11?
Certainly can. So obviously, United Soccer League, it's the second division of pro soccer in the United States. Well over 36 teams in the division. For those of you who might be watching this from overseas, if you've not had an opportunity to pay attention to our league, I will be the first to tell you, if you are a kit collector, it's a great place to start. We have a lot of diversity in thought and creativity in the U.S. as it relates to the kit game, if you will. That's one of the most exciting things for me as a marketer, is how do I take a lot of our history and our culture and who we are as a club and have it represented on the jersey. You'll see that across really all three of our kits, our home kit, our away kit, and our third kit, which we'll spend a little bit of time talking today, which is the Racing Indy kit. So club's been around since 2011. Actually, 13 is a club. 2011 kind of started. We're unique in the fact that our supporters club started before the club itself. So actually, our supporters club helped develop the brand, helped develop, had a great portion of what Indy 11 became. It was great because they actually built a supporters group, had a group of people, that were saying, we want professional soccer in Indianapolis. and it matched it with an owner and a guy named Ursal Özdemir, who's done a wonderful job of putting a great product on the field that we can all be proud of civically. A little bit about the brand itself, as I'm representing it today on my chest. We're one of the only soccer clubs, I believe, in the world that actually has a female represented on their crest. It's Victory, which if you ever Google the Circle in Indianapolis, it's a huge monument called the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. I believe it's been there since around 1911, if I remember correctly. But essentially what it is, it's a large statue, and Victory's on top, and she faces south because when the boys came home from the Civil War, she welcomed them home. So there's a lot of history with this crest. The checkers is clearly a nod to our Brickyard Battalion, which is our supporters group, and obviously our racing heritage with the Indianapolis 500. I tell people all the time that if you're a club that has checkers, you don't have the right. We have the rights. Give us our checkers back. You've done nothing to Croatia. I'm looking at you. You have an opportunity to hand them back to us because they should be ours. And obviously the red, white, and blue of our crest is centered on our city colors. These are completely all city colors instead of Indianapolis flag. And the star, as you see here, is on the center of our city flag. So very civic in nature in terms of how our brand is built. Very proud of it. I think it represents our fan and our fan culture very well.
There's only one way to settle this checkered debate, and I think it's a game between Croatia and Indy 11.
I think we have to find a way to make it happen. So
yeah, I'll get Modric on the phone. It's fine.
Come on, Luca. Bring it.
So as you just touched on there, you've released a racing kit. For the second season going. Can you tell a little bit on why you have this racing kit?
Well, I said because of our racing heritage, I said if those of you who don't know what the Indianapolis 500 is, if you're sitting here in the UK, it's an iconic race. So I guess for the same day that Monaco races, the Indy 500 takes place. It's one of those historic races, been around forever. And this year was very unique. This is the first time in, I think, almost 25 plus years on the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, I was not at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. As a Hoosier, someone from Indiana, or if someone who's a race fan, you have to imagine this is the world's largest single-day sporting event in the world. We're talking 250,000 plus people in one space at one time to watch a very historic race. Again, if you know the history of the Indianapolis 500, highly suggest you go take a look at it. But you understand how ingrained it is, and as our culture from a racing perspective, you have to realize as a soccer club how much you have to lean into that. It's core to most of our fan base, right? They've been going to the track for years. It's part of what they are every day. I'll be the first to say I have a direct history of the track. My grandparents, were the dry cleaners inside the track for the racers all the way through the 50s and 60s. And so I have a direct connection to the track. A lot of people have those great stories of how many years they've been going to the track year over year over year, 25 plus years. Just in my example, there are generations of people who've gone to have come to Indianapolis over the Memorial Day weekend and gone to this race. And it's a phenomenal experience, as you can imagine. So we would be foolish to not partner and recognize that as part of our history and bring that into our culture from a soccer perspective. So this is the second year for the Racing Indy Kit. Hopefully I'll send you pictures if you want to display them as part of this podcast for the 2019 and 2020 versions of it. The 2020 version obviously available for sale now, but this is something we think we're going to do year over year because we just see it as such an opportunity, and racing such a global thing, much like soccer. We see so many overlays of how many fun things we can potentially do creatively in this space. So we're excited about what the future can bring for this opportunity as well.
And as of late, there have been a lot of football, soccer kits mixing with other sports. So I know Nike released some NFL shirts for Spurs, or whether they were just concept designs. I can't remember. However, you're sponsored by Honda. The shirt sponsors Honda, so it kind of also ties it all in together.
Yes, it does.
So the recent shirt. Can you walk us through the design? Obviously, I now know why the checkered bits are there, but the three stripes down the middle. Can you just walk us through it?
Certainly can. I said, obviously, the black and white checkers. Obviously, you're going to see checkers in some capacity on these jerseys, no matter what. We see that obviously being a core to what we do. Or even our away kit, while it doesn't have, our home kit doesn't have checkers on it. Actually, was represented on the sleeve of the set of checkers. We always make sure it's part of our branding. Our away kit is checkered. It's powder blue and white in a checkered pattern that Adidas has. And this kit has a racing stripe down the middle. I mean, how could you go any more racing than having a racing stripe? I love the back of the jersey as well because the 11 centered in the circle feels very Monaco, feels very F1 heritage version of it. Like I said before, we have so many cannons we can play in with racing that we can do, pretty much anything across the board from F1 to Indianapolis 500. I mean, we have years and years of history of creative we can play with. But I love the circle. Obviously, we have our sponsors on the back as well. We went with white sleeves because you don't see it in the launch, but they will be wearing white shorts along with the jersey. So it really offsets the sleeves. If you look at the jersey as itself, though, I think the white sleeves can be off-putting until you see it with the shorts. So I'll send you those graphics as well if that's of help. But it's a really sharp on-field jersey. We're excited about it. And again, the best is about it is that not only are our fans excited about it, but they get exposed to our club too when they come to the city. So if you are from St. Louis or Chicago or the UK or Birmingham, for instance, not the Alabama version, but the UK version. But if you were to come to the race, you could see these different elements, and seeing soccer being brought into the racing element, I think is really, really cool.
Right. Okay. And you said that the shirts are available. What's the initial reaction been like? Many international orders?
It's funny is we've actually got quite a few folks in the UK are interested in bringing them over and making them available for sale, and we're actually exploring that as we speak. And to be very fair, I said, if you look at our club, like Indy 11, right, what you're not hearing, as you do in most American clubs and most European clubs, is FC or SC. Not part of our monikers in any way, shape, or form. We think that we have such a unique brand that it stands alone. And I should clarify, the 11 is not only 11 men on the field that we all know and love. And you'll see a lot of things in our branding around IXI or XI and the Roman numerals as well, which is kind of fun for us to do from a marketing and branding perspective. But the 11th is also the 11th Regiment, which was the regiment that fought in the Civil War for Indiana. So it's got a lot of cool tie and history to our city. That's why it's such a cool brand for us to utilize. And I love the fact we're not FC or SC. Like I said, our brand is universal. And I said, and just like racing's universal, so can our brand be. So reaction's been good. Clearly, we're going to continue to be creative in the space. We're looking at other opportunities ahead of the race. Just so you guys know, the race is now moved to August 22nd for those of you who are potentially want to watch in the UK. With leading into the race, we have some other great things we're working on with Honda Racing, because Honda is a secondary manufacturer of engines. Chevrolet is the primary. Honda's also there. Chevrolet is the primary sponsor of the track as well. So we have a real opportunity with Honda to help them amplify during the month and do some really cool things with dealerships and Honda Racing. Some of you who are racing fans might see that in our launch video, which you can go to indy11.com and watch, or our Twitter. By all means, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, follow us. We'd love to have you be part of our fandom. You'll see a video. Jack Harvey is featured. Jack Harvey's a UK-based racer. Lives here, actually lives 2 miles away from me now, but he is from Lincoln City. And so he's a Lincoln City fan by default. A little bit of a Blackburn Rovers guy, I understand, as we've talked. But Jack's a great partner in this as well. We're going to really bring Jack into the fold as well, make him one of us. So it's a really good opportunity for us to do this great pollination of racing and soccer.
I remember wearing this jumper for work once, and a security guard looked at it and was like, "Oh, FIFA, as in the video game." And it really, really upset me. So that was it for the first episode of Talking Kit, or Chatting Kit. I have been wandering around this one spot talking shit for the past 10 minutes. So hopefully there's enough content here for an episode, and hopefully it is entertaining. If you enjoyed it, please do let me know. I will make this a series. If the demand is there, if it was enjoyable, I've enjoyed making it. Speaking to people about the design, I don't really know much about kit design in terms of the process that goes into it, so it was very nice to talk to experts. But yeah, new episode of Kitted Out will be out very soon. I'm also working on a original colours quiz, but I will tweet about that. If it's already out when this video goes out, I'll do the classic YouTuber. Just check the description. It'll be down in the description. But yeah, thank you for watching. Speak to you soon, and follow me on Twitter @KizzedOutPod. Cheers, guys.